And welcome to this video on the RC Biker channel. Thanks very much for tuning in. This video has been sponsored by Banggood.com. Thank you very much to Banggood for sponsoring this video. And if you haven't already seen the out-of-boxing video of this car, please make sure to check it out. Link is in the description below. And also a link to purchase this car along with a discount code is also down below in the description. So today we're going to be running through the basics of setting up and starting and braking in your Nitro engine for the very first time. Many of you who purchase the cars on my channel are new to the hobby, so I think it's important to keep up to date with some tutorials on how to carry out the basics. So for this tutorial we're going to be using the VRX1 Nitro Buggy. This has already had the first tank of the braking procedure done, so today we're going to be doing tanks 2, 3, 4 and 5. But before that I'm just going to talk through how to set up the car. Now these ready to run cars are very easy to set up because they are, well, as the name suggests, they are ready to run. So pretty much all you will need to get started is 8 AA batteries for your transmitter system. You're going to need 4 AA batteries or a 6-volt hump pack for your car. Once that's done, perform a quick radio check. So pull the trigger and look here for the throttle gap to be opening and closing. Whilst you're there, push the brakes and make sure that the car stops. Now check the steering. Check that left is left and right is right. Just have a visual look at the car, make sure all the components are there. Consider applying some thread lock to these 4 engine mount screws just on the underside. Just remove one at a time and then you won't disturb the gear mesh. So for the first tank of the braking procedure, you need to allow the engine to sing for 1 full fuel tank. For the second tank, you drive around using no more than quarter throttle. For the third tank, you drive around using no more than half throttle. For the fourth tank, drive around using no more than 3/4 throttle. And finally, for the fifth tank, you can start using full throttle and just begin to lean out or tune the engine slightly. So I'm now going to start up the engine and demonstrate tank 2 of the braking in procedure. Okay, so we're going to do tank 2 of the braking in procedure. Just a reminder, this is not exceeding quarter throttle. You should see lots of blue smoke coming out of the exhaust. That's a good thing because that means that the engine is running nice and rich. And for a new engine, that's good because that means lots of lubrication. Carry on doing this then for the whole of tank number 2, and then I'll catch you guys in about 10 minutes time when it's time to move on to tank number 3. See you in a minute. Okay, so 10-15 minutes later and now we're on to tank number 3. Tank 3 is not exceeding half throttle. So let's refill the tank. I've just allowed the engine to sit and cool off for about 5 minutes there, just between the tanks, just to give it a little bit of cool off time. Now we're just going to fire him up and do tank number 3. A little bit more throttle trim. Just reaching that half throttle mark and then just easing off. So I'm going to carry on doing that then for the whole of tank number 3, and I'll see you guys in a couple of moments time when we're ready to move on to tank number 4. Catch you shortly. Okay, so 10 minutes have now passed and now we're going to move on to tank number 4 of the braking in procedure. We've just done tank number 3, which is not exceeding half throttle. Now we're going to do tank number 4. Tank number 4 is not exceeding 3/4 throttle. I'm still running the engine quite rich. At this stage you might need to lean the engine. That means turning the high-speed needle 1/8 of a turn clockwise. I'll pop a more detailed tuning tutorial down in the comment section below, description below as well rather. where you can find out more details. You might need to lean it just a little bit, which will allow the engine to reach a higher RPM. So this is 3/4 throttle. Let's see. So just up to 3/4 and then easing off. So I'll catch you guys in a couple of moments when it's time to move on to tank 5. Now on the next tank you're going to need a tuning screwdriver or just a flat end screwdriver, because we're now going to start to lean out the engine. So I'm going to finish this tank and I'll catch you guys in a second, explain what we need to do. Okay, so tanks 1, 2, 3 and 4 are now complete. Now it's time to move on to tank number 5. This is where you can start to tune your engine for performance. Now I like to use one of these little screwdrivers. It's just a little flat end screwdriver that just fits all of the tuning needles very nicely. You can just use a normal flat end screwdriver, doesn't matter, but this is the needle here that we're going to be adjusting on this one. This is the high speed needle. It's easily identified because it's the screw that's in this brass tubing. So what we're going to be doing on this tank is I'm going to start by driving up and down. The engine's already hot. All tuning needs to be done when the engine's hot. So we're going to start by driving up and down. When the engine is up to temperature, I'm just going to turn the high speed needle, this one here, 1/8 of a turn clockwise. So that's going to look something like this. So that's all I'm going to do at a time, just going to do 1 turn clockwise. Now what you're doing by doing that little turn is you're leaning out the engine, and that means that you're reducing the amount of fuel going into the engine, which will result in greater performance. And this is still tank 5 of the braking in procedure, so we're not going to be holding it at full throttle for long. We're just starting to lean out the engine. So I'm going to fire up the engine and then I'll just allow you just to watch me tune it for performance. You can see how the engine tone changes, how the smoke reduces, and how it starts to get a little bit faster and better performing. So I'm going to start him up. Bring it back, and I'm going to start by turning the high speed needle 1/8 of a turn clockwise. And now I'm going to turn it another 1/8 of a turn clockwise, and notice how the performance and top speed increases. Zoom out. Happy now with the performance of that. I am running it still slightly rich because it is a new engine. So I hope this video helped you to start, break in and tune in your engine. The hobby is meant to be fun, keep it that way. It doesn't take that long and it's not as daunting as many people initially think it is. So I hope this video helped. What we're going to do now is go and bash this car on the gravel area behind me. Thanks very much to Banggood again for sending out the car. If you like this car, please make sure you visit the Banggood website. Link is in the description below. Until next time, thanks very much and bye for now.